Can you in any way explain to me what it's like as a parent going through something like this?
The pain is relentless.
Right now, their son sits in an Italian prison because of one violent encounter that lasted about half a minute. He admits he stabbed a police officer to death, but says he had to save himself. Good evening, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Ama Dates. This case has made international headlines. And with his trial set to start next week, Finn Elder's parents here in San Francisco are breaking their silence in an exclusive interview with the I-Team's Dan Noyes.
That's right, and he is here now with the story. And Dan, this story is just so compelling. It's the focus of an hour-long ABC7 Originals documentary that you've been working on really since last July.
Exactly right, Dan and Ama. You know, I made contact with this family shortly after the killing last summer and have kept in touch in the 7 months since. After taking so many hits in the Italian media, the Elders say it's time to get their side of the story out as their son goes on trial. The nightmare began for Leah and Ethan Elder on July 26th of last year with a FaceTime video call from two Italian police investigators. Their 19-year-old son, Finnegan, visible in the background crying.
He said, "Mom, it's really, really bad." He said, "They're saying that I killed a cop," and then the phone just went dead.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really awful. I don't think Ethan and I could stand for quite a long time after that. We both just sat here on the floor in this room and just cried and cried and cried.
How did this happen, they wondered. The parents were involved in both their children's lives as they grew up in this San Francisco neighborhood a few blocks from the Pacific Ocean.
We took family walks, we have Sunday family dinners, we were very involved in sports, you know, PTA at his middle school. Ethan coached soccer, helped to coach baseball, so we have been and are still very close.
Their son Finn went to Rome on summer vacation after wrapping up his first year at San Diego Mesa College. He met up with an old friend from Tamalpais High School in Mill Valley, Gabriel Natale. The investigative report shows early that Friday morning, Gabe tried to buy cocaine, but a pusher gave him Italian Tylenol instead, and off-duty cops broke up the transaction. The young Americans ran away, Finn grabbing the backpack of a man involved in the deal, and the boys later demanded money to return it. The backpack owner arranged to meet Gabe and called police. Carabinieri Deputy Brigadier Mario Cicciella Rega and his partner, Andrea Variale, arrived at the location. The officers were not in uniform, had no service weapons or badges, and there are questions whether they properly identified themselves as police. The Elders defend Finn's actions as self-defense.
At 3 a.m., he was jumped from behind, thrown to the ground by a man 100 pounds heavier than him.
He was being strangled.
He was choking him and pinning him down. Finnegan thought he was in mortal danger.
He feared for his life.
He feared for his life.
He thought he was fighting somebody who was trying to kill him.
And he was not letting up.
Finn pulled out this knife, a U.S. Marine-style combat weapon called a K-bar. He told police he slashed at the officer until he let go. Cicciella Rega died 45 minutes later at the hospital, leaving behind a widow they had married just the month before. The Carabinieri leaked this photo that Finn had on his cell phone of him in San Francisco before the trip, with what appears to be the same knife. Had you ever seen that knife before?
No.
No.
You can go to Big Five and there's rows and rows of camping knives.
Did it surprise you that he traveled with that?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Police held a news conference saying the Americans were the aggressors, but a source has given me quotes from Finn Elder's interrogation that day. He says, "We didn't know that they were policemen." When the investigator asks, "What do you mean they attacked you?" Finn answers, "Like walked up close and just grabbed me and threw me to the ground. The bigger guy was on top of me. He started hitting me and he started strangling me. I thought I was going to die." The Elders tell me they waited for Officer Cicciella Rega to be buried before coming to Rome and visiting Finn in this prison. The international media swarmed. They refused all interview requests until now. Describe for me that moment, Ethan, when you saw Finn for the first time in prison.
My heart was broken over the loss of Officer Rega. And I walked back in and it broke again.
Seeing your boy.
Seeing my boy. We hugged, we kissed, we told each other we loved each other. He was shaking.
I could feel how much physical contact he needed, so I just touched him the whole time and held his hand.
His parents tell me Finn hasn't had problems with other inmates. Some call him California Boy. Leah and Ethan Elder are draining their life savings to pay attorneys here and in Rome. Finn's trial on aggravated murder and attempted extortion charges starts next week, 7 months to the day since the officer died.
This is not an easy question to answer, but what words do you have for Officer Rega's wife?
I'm just so heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken that her husband was here and now he's no longer on this earth. And I feel just an immense amount of pain when I think of her.
Not a day goes by that we don't reflect on him and their lives. Everyone who loved him, just as we love our son. It's just a tragedy.
There is so much more to the story. Now, that interview is part of an hour-long ABC7 Originals documentary about the case that airs this Sunday at 7. It's called 32 Seconds, A Deadly Night in Rome. It will also be streamed tonight at ABC7News.com and on Amazon Fire TV and the ABC7 News Bay Area YouTube channel.